Hello and welcome to Barely Afraid, where we follow and react to the internet's scariest ghosts, aliens, cryptids, and things that just can't be explained by human nature. Today we dive into the most jaw-dropping sightings of the king of the cryptid world, Bigfoot. Soaring in from above, we land where a man is out hunting in the Salt Fork State Park located in the state of Ohio. As he walked through the state park, he happened upon a huge Sasquatch-like creature and amazingly captured the following footage.
It's the Ohio grass, man. You'd be stupid to walk out here in a suit. Get shot. It's right behind that tree. The big... Look. And his hair's gray and black. Is that gray? Is that snow? Brown? Red? Can't tell.
Upon zooming in, you can see the tall ape-like creature hiding in the trees. Many believe this is simply the big creature letting the man know he's come close enough. The Ohio grassman has been around for centuries, even going back to the 1800s. Native American legends from the Ohio region describe wild, hairy men of the woods long before settlers arrived. Much like the skunk ape is Florida's version of Bigfoot, such as the Ohio grassman, the version of Bigfoot in Ohio. But is this an actual grassman? It is true that unlike the Pacific Northwest Bigfoot, the grassman is said to travel in small family groups, where the Pacific Northwest Bigfoot is actually said to be a more solitary individual. This apparent grassman seems to be alone, which could just be a coincidence. However, some people on the internet have gone as far as to say that this is no accident. Remember, they are said to travel in small family groups, so it's easy to attribute this to them simply protecting their family, which could have been nearby. It's also worth mentioning that the Ohio grassman is known to be more confrontational than the Pacific Northwest Bigfoot when attempting to scare someone off. This would make sense as it has allowed its presence to be known here in the video. I'll leave it to you to decide. Is this the grassman kindly suggesting the man hunt somewhere else? Or is it someone in a suit taking their chance with the hunters of Ohio?
You'd be stupid to walk out here in a suit. Get shot.
In this next segment, we travel to the great state of Oregon, where Bigfoot seems to be just another local. First, we arrive with a photo taken from the McMinnville, Oregon area. It was originally submitted to the Bigfoot investigative group, Rocky Mountain Sasquatch, by a man named Ben. As you look at the supposed Bigfoot, a few things stand out, the most imposing feature being that of the arms. Upon investigating the photo, the Rocky Mountain Sasquatch investigative group declared that the length of the arms of the Bigfoot in the photo is what actually brings authenticity to the photo. To further support their claim of this evidence, they highlighted a video taken back in 2023 from the Umatilla Forest of the Blue Mountains near Harris Park, Oregon. In this video, you can see a dark and hairy Bigfoot-like creature make its way up a steep incline. As it walks, it stops briefly before then returning to its ascent. If you look at the arms of the creature, once again you will notice just how long its wingspan is. It is important to note that this clip has faced scrutiny in the past, as some people say that the figure seems to have trouble making its way up the hill, and that when they stop, it seems like it's more due to the fact that it's out of breath rather than them just simply stopping. It is likely that a Bigfoot from this area would have no problem climbing this incline, so this does cause speculation. Even more speculation arose when it was pointed out that this photo and video are of two different Bigfoot. So how can they say this is what proves the existence of the big man's presence in Oregon? To combat this question, our friends pointed out that these two sightings are from the same region of Oregon, and while all Bigfoot look different, similar to how people do, it is likely that all Bigfoot from a specific region or area will share similar traits and features. For us here at Barely Afraid, we are on the fence about this one, but let us know what you think in the comments below. Is Oregon really ripe with Bigfoot, or is it just wishful thinking on our part? Crashing in, we fall into a remote piece of the Appalachian Mountains where the father of a small family has captured some footage of our big friend. If you didn't know, the Appalachian Mountains are one of the biggest hotspots for Bigfoot sightings, with dozens of new reports cycling annually. Stretching all the way from Canada down through the United States to central Alabama, they are known for dense forests, caves, and rugged terrain. Perfect conditions for a reclusive creature such as Bigfoot to reside. In this clip, the father of the family is out in the woods behind his home. He spots the Bigfoot-like creature and immediately takes out his phone to capture them. When you look back, it's quite obvious there is a large hairy figure seemingly standing on two legs doing its best to blend in with the foliage of the area. After realizing they have been noticed, the large humanoid figure retreats back into the safety of the woods. Like we mentioned earlier, the Appalachian mountain range is home to so many spooky encounters and things that just can't be explained. So it wouldn't be so much of a stretch if this actually was a Bigfoot, just people watching. I mean, who knows? Maybe Bigfoot is just as curious about us as we are about them. What do you think? Flying in, we open on a video that has recently been circulating in the Bigfoot community. A man from the state of Georgia was reviewing his trail cam footage when he found this short video. Initially thinking it was simply a bear, he dismissed it, but later decided to send it in to a popular YouTube channel named Dread Captures. Upon initial review, it is quite easy to understand why the man thought it was a bear. Side by side, you would think, oh, that's just our curious channel mascot using the camera to see if they have anything in their eye. But when you dig a little deeper, it becomes a little more controversial. We here at Barely Afraid generated a reconstructed image of what the whole face of this creature could look like. Seems like Bigfoot to us, but as usual, it's not on us to come to the conclusion. We will admit that the eye does look especially human-like, but some viewers have said it seems like the eyes lack a certain human feeling. We tend to agree. It's almost like they're so close to being human, but aren't quite there. On top of that, did you notice the nose? That's definitely not the nose of a human. Some are prone to dismissing this as a different type of animal such as an owl or wild hog. Then there are the people who believe this is an elaborate film performance. If you look in the reflection, it appears to show some sort of setup, if you will. Could this actually be from a movie? One person also points out that Bigfoot wouldn't sit at a trail cam for all the world to see, and that if this is the big creature, then where's the apparent footage of them coming into frame? Of course, this comment sparked talk of AI. Better known as a skeptic's new best friend. The man who sent this in has gone on record saying that he is in fact not a believer of our furry friend, but has admitted that Bigfoot is a regular topic in a mountainous part of Georgia where he lives. However, I'll leave the judging up to you. Is this a Bigfoot who found a loophole to appearing on camera? Or is the star here lights, makeup, and special effects? You decide. Here next we emerge into an unknown location. Uploaded on April 2nd of 2025, a man was flying his drone when he came across someone, or rather something that captured his attention. As the man twisted and turned, the figure caught his gaze. Intrigued, he started to follow the creature as it walked below. It appears that as the man began to track the figure, it began to speed up. It's almost as if the creature was trying to get away without alerting the man to its plan. It is true we don't know where in the world this took place. What we do know is that the man who uploaded this said that this stretch of forest is extremely remote, and although this footage is in black and white, we can still see what looks to be a giant humanoid wandering through the forest, leaving many to speculate that whatever this is might actually have human qualities, even if it's not technically 100% human as so many people believe. Now it is to be noted that so many people take it upon themselves to venture into remote territory all the time. This could simply be a large human who didn't want a drone spying on them. Or perhaps this was a Bigfoot caught off guard by the sudden appearance of a small flying machine out in the middle of nowhere. Dropping in, we emerge where another trail cam has captured an apparent Sasquatch. On April 1st, 2025, this Bigfoot sighting was uploaded by a person named Sunny Vader. They stated the following when explaining why the trail cam was even placed in the first place at all. Remote trail cameras were placed throughout the area at a native burial site known as Spirit Camp, after strange activity within the site had taken place. Of course, with the hopes of catching these strange happenings on camera, they placed the trail cams and waited. What they got was definitely strange, and definitely unexpected. In the snowy climate, you can see someone, or rather something, that is clearly out of place. A big, tall, and dark humanoid figure is apparently doing its best to hide behind some thin trees. At first, it seems as if the being is content to remain in its hunched-over position. However, as the video creeps along, the creature begins to stand, which alerts us to just how big the dark-haired figure is. This sparked some debate in the Native American communities in the region, as well as the people who study Native American history and legends. Many point out that if you go back to before modernized beliefs and even before the term Bigfoot, that you will find many stories and beliefs about hairy human-like beings that were especially large in stature and were said to have lived in the forests and mountains. Most of these tales come from the indigenous tribes across North America in those times. Perhaps the most famous name for our big friend that has made it to our time era is the name Sasquatch. Some of the oldest Sasquatch stories come from the Chahales tribe. Upon researching these renowned people, we discovered that their legends of Sasquatch, or Bigfoot if you will, predates even the 1700s. In their legends, they talk of beings said to be larger than humans, covered in hair, and even capable of speaking their own language unique to just them. However, it is to be noted that the Chahales people didn't fear Bigfoot, but rather saw them as more of a neighbor that lived in the woods. They often described them as powerful, but not always hostile. Many of their stories describe them as stealthy, elusive, and also territorial, which honestly still holds up today, and is a reason the Chahales people believe that the hairy humanoids avoided contact with humans. Of course, with Native Americans being a spiritual people, they also believed that Bigfoot was not just a physical creature, but also that of a spiritual one as well. For the Chahales people, the forest as well as the earth in general had many protectors. Bigfoot was one of them. But I'll leave it to you to render a conclusion. Does the fact that this video was captured on a native burial site prove this is in fact a Bigfoot, still eager to protect against all unnatural elements? Or is it something more simple, something more man-made? In this next segment, we unleash some new Bigfoot pictures that have made some impact online this year. These pictures were originally captured by two hikers that were on a nature hike whenever they stumbled across a creature walking through the grass. At first you can see the creature walk from the side. It appears as if it is indifferent to the two hikers' presence, almost like it has other pressing matters on its mind. Next you can see another one from the side as it traverses through the tall grass. Although this angle is partially obscured by the branches of the nearby small tree, it is still possible to make out the apparent texture of the hair. Of course, one key point to take notice of is that its posture is hunched and not upright. This is a huge point that gives believers around the world more evidence to prove the authenticity of this image. In the next photo, we are able to get a more head-on point of view. When you zoom in, you can see a face that isn't totally covered in hair. This is typical of human-like beings, especially apes. I mean, after all, to some people, Bigfoot is said to be an undiscovered ape or human relative. Again, you can see this creature from the side. As the creature walks around for its supposed impromptu photo shoot, you can see just how big it is, or to some, just how small it is. Many people in the Bigfoot community are calling these a hoax, saying that this Bigfoot isn't really that big. Also, the lack of muscle tone has given doubt to whether or not this is an actual being, or just someone in a suit. However, to combat these claims, believers have pointed out that when you look closer to the last picture, it does look like you can spot some grayish hair on its arms and head. Perhaps this is an older Bigfoot. That would explain the lack of muscle tone, as all animals tend to lose definition as they age. Some even point out that if this is an actual older Bigfoot, that would also explain why it appears to be so unbothered. I mean, if this Bigfoot has been around for who knows how long, then would it be so hard to believe that maybe it's had its fair share of human interaction? This occurred in a remote area of Mount St. Helens, located inside the Cascade Mountain Range, which as luck would have it is also one of the most famous hot spots of Bigfoot sightings in the world. The volcanic peak is famously tied to the legendary Ape Canyon incident that happened in 1924, where a group of miners claimed their cabin was attacked overnight by a band of ape-like creatures. And of course, local Native American tribes in the area told stories of the supposed mountain devils that lived in the remote forests back in the day. Perhaps one of the most interesting pieces of Bigfoot lore is that of the volcanic eruption of Mount St. Helens in 1980. To make a long story short, it's said that after the eruption took place, there were Bigfoot bodies left out everywhere around the mountain. Rumors began to circulate that the government sent in recovery teams to recover the supposed Sasquatch bodies using helicopters as well as military trucks. In an even wilder twist, some believe that some Bigfoot were found alive and given medical treatment before being relocated to a safer, suitable environment after the tragic natural event. However, certain native tribes weren't so easily convinced and said they believed that the Sasquatch-like beings actually went even deeper into hiding after the eruption. Interestingly enough, Bigfoot sightings in Washington and Oregon spiked in the 1980s after the eruption. This could give more credit to the theory that the government relocated our furry friends, or that the natives were correct and our Bigfoot companions ran deeper into the forests. In any case, their sudden migration increased human encounters and Bigfoot sightings in the Pacific Northwest. Now going back to the image, it's easy to say this is fake, and for some it's even easier to say they are 100% real. We here at Barely Afraid can see it both ways. Indeed, this could be a person in a suit. Or maybe this is a Sasquatch who is just visiting the home they were forced to leave all those years ago. If you enjoyed tonight's countdown, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new upload. Have a creepy clip or ghost encounter of your own? Drop it in the comments or send it to our email that just might appear in the next episode. Thanks for watching, and remember, keep your lights on tonight. You never know what might be standing in the dark.